Okay, so what's up guys? I thought I'd do this video and I'm excited, right? I'm really excited because I'm going to share, moving away from the STM32 devices, what some good RISC-V alternatives are. Now I've evaluated a lot of RISC-V boards. I've evaluated things like the Pico, the ESP32 and the CH32V series from WCH, a company in China. And these are the three devices that I came up with that you should be using if you want to migrate from the STM32. So the first device is actually the CH32 V003F4P6, and is a really good device because you get a lot of your standard microcontroller peripherals. Could replace like a Cortex M0 type of stuff. So actually use that for replacement. I actually have these STM32 030F4P6 boards, chips, sorry, and I kind of use that to replace it. And these come as prototypes, but I don't have PCBs and stuff, so I tend to kind of use these adapter boards, and that has been a really good replacement. Now I actually got a lot of these actually picked up thanks to I won't say names, but I actually got 50 of these to review and test and stuff, and 50, right? And the experience has been really good. It could definitely replace a Cortex M0 type applications, even like a M0 plus, low pin count, and like 90% of the microcontroller stuff you're doing, you're really using only about 20 pins. 20 pins is a lot, especially for the deeply embedded stuff I do. You could do more size stuff with 20 pins without any issues. Now moving up, we have this little guy here, and this little guy can actually replace the infamous blue pill, right? So this is actually the CH32 V103 CH36, and it's kind of direct replacement for the I can actually move it out of the way here so you can see for the STM32 blue pill, the STM32 F103 CH36 device. It's kind of direct replacement for that device, and as a replacement functions really well. We get a lot of we have USB, we have more memory. It runs up to like 18 megahertz. It's a really nice device. Have a little breakouts, and actually have a TQFP to the IP adapter though. Usually when I do this, I just put it on PCBs, and it's a really good board. I picked up a few of these as well. Now what I really want to zone in on is the actually move these out of the side, right? This little board here, this is the the big guy, right? 100 pins, and a really low cost board. Now this is based on the CH32 V307 device, and is actually a really good replacement for some of the STM32F4s. So my STM32F4 board of choice is probably not a well-known board, but it just comes so well packaged. This is what I used to do all the prototyping with. It's actually based on the STM32 F4. This is the VGT6. Actually has a lot of flash and decent RAM, and I can do a lot with this board, right? And I always like how this is packaged, it's low cost, and I do a lot of stuff with this. I just keep it in the case because I like how it looks, right? But this board could replace definitely replace it for the applications, because I don't always use the full 1 megabyte of flash. And if you're looking for STM32 F4 replacement, this is the board you're really looking to get. Now there is a version of this board, I actually have it here, sent to me as a gift actually. This version actually has the debugger built in, but I don't know the exact same chip, but has a debugger on board. I typically use the CH link, so that's actually a program. This stuff I actually have a CH link here. Hold on. So this is the link E, kind of programmer for these RISC-V devices, and it could actually replace the STM32 link, the ST link. I have a ST link here, and this is obviously a clone. I tend to use the clone because of the cost, but I could get our original one of these really low cost, and that's what I really like this line for, because the original tools are actually cheap. Development boards, even the programmer is just a few dollars, and I actually have quite a lot of these clone ST links, and it was possible for me to get quite a few of these. Now, if you're now getting started, you could actually get the CH32 V307 board, but this is also a good board. I've suffocated it because I use this a lot, and that's actually where I got a lot of the CH32 V003F4P6 devices, because there's this nice little evaluation board for it, and you see I have another linky here. Actually made a hole on it, because the way RISC-V works, this linky program is actually had to press the button before you use it, and you could open the case, but I just wanted to have a hole in case I have to, because I'll be doing a lot of experimenting with this one in particular, because as I use the ST link. This ST link, I can use the flash not only STM32 devices, but also things like the Pico and stuff. I actually use this to do a lot of anything I do with ARM. I kind of hack a ST link to get it done. So that was it. This was a brief video. If you really want to get started with them, I highly recommend this one in particular, the CH32 V307. And while you're with it, pick up one of these link E programmers. It's some nice chips. I'll probably in the next video I'll show you the idea how to program them and stuff. But it's fine. You have a replacement for STM32. I've been using 8-bit microcontrollers for a lot of stuff, and if you're looking for some ultra low cost alternatives with good tools, no need to buy any Kyle, Keel, or IR workbench or anything about that. You just need these low cost boards, and it could do a lot. So this is the first video. I might do a series with these because I like them so much. Good tools, decent low cost programmer, low cost development boards, and low cost chips. This the chip on this eval board, I don't know if you remember, actually went famous for being the 10-cent RISC-V MCU. It's not the only family, and yes, there are other ones. There are CH32 002 and a lot of boards, but I like this one because you can actually get it in large quantities from LCSC if you need, and other distributors, and you can also get the chips I mentioned here, you get them on multiple sources. So that's why I recommend these. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. This was a video just for me to explain that, and in the next video I'll probably show you how to program these and stuff, and actually did a lot of work with these, and I might probably open source some stuff on GitHub. But if you're looking to move to the from STM32 to RISC-V, these are the devices I recommend.